Oh my gosh, Laguna Beach the musical. That would be something.
That'd be amazing.
Alex N's like song would be like, "How low are you?" But it'd be like a hip hop song, you know? Say you're a slut.
Welcome back to a new episode of Millennial TV. We are Liz, Candace, and Adrian, and today we are recapping Laguna Beach Season 2, Episode 9, Cabo, Cabo, Cabo. We have an exciting episode next week with another cast member from Season 2 of the show, and we'll be dropping hints throughout the week on our Instagram, so be sure to check that out to see if you can figure out who it is. You can find us on Instagram at Millennial TV, Millennial TEAV. And before we get into the episode, we thought it would be fun to talk about what some of our favorite millennial non-reality TV shows were growing up. So I'll start. I always loved Mary-Kate and Ashley growing up. And so some of the millennial shows during that era were their sitcoms, Two of a Kind and So Little Time. Those were so good, so fun. I always loved watching those. And then other shows that immediately come to mind are Boy Meets World, Degrassi, and Glee.
Stop. I love Boy Meets World. Stop.
Yes.
Listen, Boy Meets World.
That's on my list too.
Nice.
I love it.
It is my absolute favorite, all-time favorite show to ever exist on the planet. It still makes me laugh consistently without fail today. And I have every season on DVD. I love that show.
It's the best.
I watch it like twice a year.
Yeah, it's so good.
Listen to their podcast. It's so
Yeah.
I need to. Kelsey listens to it, and she and I are like both huge Boy Meets World fans, and she's like, "You have to listen," and I'm like, "I will. I'll get to it. I've just got
It's
so
so
many
good.
on my list."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the shows that, like, I feel like back in the day, I would just, like, have it on all day long. Like, even if I wasn't
Yes.
really paying attention, it would just, like, be on in the background. So I
It
feel like
holds
I've
up.
seen it 1,000 times, yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I gotta shout out Degrassi, because that was another one that, like, was very, like, I was, like, the same age as a lot of them, and it felt so relatable. And I know the show's, like, so cheesy and corny and stuff, but I love it so much.
Okay, for our listeners, Adrian lives in Vancouver, Canada, and never watched Degrassi. So judge her accordingly.
Was the show set in Vancouver? No.
I don't think so.
Toronto, I
Toronto, yeah.
Okay, yeah, different city, whatever. But
Still
I've
Canada.
said it before. It always felt like the lame little show from Canada, in my opinion, which is why I boycotted it.
Man.
Who knew people in the U.S. were watching it, man?
Yeah. Like, obsessively. Yeah.
Do you have more, Liz?
Glee as well, but that one was, like,
I
a little
love
bit later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that totally counts.
I am Rachel Berry. You and I could totally watch TV all day together because you love all the things that I love,
Yep.
which makes sense because obviously we connected so easily. when we
Exactly.
met. But for me, I was always a big, like, Supernatural TV show girly. Not the show Supernatural, but, like, Supernatural shows. Like, Buffy, huge fan of that. Angel, which was the spinoff of Buffy. Charmed. I mean, obviously, like, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Back in the day. That was one of my faves. And I would always try to, like, use my finger to, like, do magic.
Aw.
Remember when there was, like, TGI Fridays on
Yeah.
ABC? So it was, like, Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and a couple others. Every single Friday without fail, I watched those. So loved that. But, yeah, I was really same ones as you. The Glee, Boy Meets World, Vampire Diaries was a big one. Pretty
Yes.
Little Liars.
Yes.
Loved that show. I was so disappointed by the ending, but I did love it. Gossip Girl, that's a huge one. Blair Waldorf is just everything. There's a trend of all the characters I like, and I obviously...
She was the best part of the show, though. Like, that show focused so much on Serena, and I don't think it's Blake Lively, since she's proven to be, like, a good actress afterward, but, like, that character, Serena van der Woodsen, was just so annoying.
The writing for her was rough.
It was so bad.
She made the worst decisions over and over and over again, and
Yes.
so did Blair, but I always say, like, she's just more likable. Like, she was just more likable, bottom line.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gossip Girl is a big one for me. I definitely love that show. That's another one that I watch like twice a year. I'm totally one of those people who binge watches shows over and over again.
Yeah, I think, like, between the both of you guys, I can see why we get along so well.
Yeah.
I'm also a Glee person. although I always start out hating shows if they're really popular. So I won't watch it while it's popular. And then, like, maybe a season or two later, I'm like, yeah, I think I'll check it out. And so I totally did that with Glee. And I stand by saying season 1 is the only, like, good season, in my opinion.
It's a perfect season.
It is, yeah.
It is perfect television. I always tell Jasmine when we're watching it, episode 1, the pilot, is a perfect television pilot.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
From start to finish, it is absolute perfection.
Yes.
And no other TV show has managed to do that.
But you know what else? In season 1, I felt like they focused a little bit more on the adult. So, like, Mr. Shu, especially.
Yeah.
And then, like, season 2 and beyond was, like, a lot of the kids and the students. And, like, yeah, like, that's where I feel like a lot of the fans wanted it to go. But, like, that's when it started going downhill for me. I was like, Mr. Shu and, like, Sue, I know she was still in it, but, like, his marriage and all of that, like, that was a big part of season 1, and that was a really good part.
Did you guys watch the Glee Project?
Of course.
I loved the Glee
good.
Project.
Yes.
Stop. That was the best.
It was the best. It was so freaking good.
That was the silliest thing, though. They ended up having a winner, and then they put, like, the top 3 or 4 on the freaking show. So I'm like, what did the winner really get?
Nothing. No.
Whatever.
A bigger role? I don't know.
More lines.
Not even.
Yeah.
Not even.
Can I tell you guys a fun Glee story really quick?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So when we lived in LA, where Kyle worked, it was on a studio lot. It was across the street from the Paramount lot. And because it was, like, technically connected with his, like, ID card or whatever, we could get into the Paramount lot and be like, we're just going to go to lunch or whatever. Like, it was like he worked there, sort of.
That's amazing.
And that's where they filmed the show. And so it was, like, the coolest thing. We would go for, like, lunch and we would just walk around. Like, if you look like you know what you're doing, nobody will be like, hey, what are you doing over there? You know, like... So there was one day that a bunch of the cast members drove past us on golf carts. It was like the last season, so it wasn't like all the people, but like Mr. Shu was definitely there.
I'm so jealous.
There was another day that we were just wandering around, and one of like the sets, the like wall that they normally would have down, like it's like a garage wall, it was just up. It was just open. And I was like, holy crap. It was like the ballet dance studio that Rachel did in college or whatever.
Oh, that's so cool. That's Niata. Wait, so that wasn't actually in New York?
No, it was in LA and Paramount. Yeah.
I thought they filmed in New York, you guys.
Some
of it, yeah.
Oh.
So we just walked in. There was nobody there. We just walked in and we kind of explored around and we found like the set for like her bedroom and stuff. But the coolest one was we found the office, Sue's office, like the coach's office, like with the desk and everything. Like it was so I have a picture of me sitting in the chair inside her office. I'll have to try to find it. Yeah.
You have to post it.
I will, yeah.
Did you get in trouble?
No, nobody saw us. We just like eventually left and we were like, that was crazy.
I'm honestly so jealous. That is the coolest.
I regret not like taking something, like stealing like a lipstick or something off of like her desk. Because there was like, they had all the props out and stuff. It was so cool.
If our podcast hits it big, they're going to listen and be like, we need more security on these sets.
Yeah.
I also loved Vampire Diaries. Again, only started in like season 2 because I was so over the Twilight thing at the time. But like, you just couldn't get away from Vampire Diaries. I feel like it was just like of the times. Pretty Little Liars, the other one. So Boy Meets World, I loved all that. The Amanda Show back in the day.
Yes.
Those were really funny.
Loved that one.
And have you guys ever seen the show Popular?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Is it Canadian?
No, it was on the CW and it had Leslie Bibb as a star. And it was actually Glee, I feel like, before Glee happened. It was by Ryan Murphy.
Oh.
They like tackled really controversial things, I feel like, on the show. It was about high school kids and living like the high school life. There's like popular kids against like the losers, whatever. But it was so good. In Canada, we have like the Family Channel, which shows all of like the Disney shows and some of these like teen shows as well. My So-Called Life. And Popular was one that aired between 7 to 8, so it was like after dinner, and I would sit and watch it all the time. But I have not found anybody in real life besides my sister who watched this show.
Wow.
I've never even heard of it.
Anyone out there, please.
I wonder if there's somewhere we can watch it.
Oh, I have the DVDs.
Oh,
I
okay.
love this
How
show
many
so
seasons?
much. Only 2, and they freaking stopped at a cliffhanger. Like literally, one of the main characters got hit by a car.
Oh my God.
and you could not tell if she survived or
Oh my
not.
gosh.
I hate when they do
It's
that.
the worst.
Drives me
It's the
freaking
worst.
nuts.
And then on the younger end, I was a fan of the Disney Channel, watching Hannah Montana. Wizards I didn't like. I am not a Selena Gomez stan.
Ugh.
But I love
Adrian, you
Demi.
suck.
Are you a Demi fan?
Not anymore.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of hers anymore, but like 10 years ago, I could talk about her all day. I would fight anyone for her. I loved Demi so much.
That makes sense because I don't like her because she was really mean to Taylor.
And that makes sense. I didn't like Taylor because Demi didn't like her. And Good Luck Charlie, I gotta say that. That was like the end of Disney for me.
I was aging out, but I did like that show.
Yeah, that was like the very last for me. I was way too old to be watching it at that point.
Do you guys remember there was a show on Disney Channel called So Weird?
Oh, yes.
Oh my god,
gosh.
I have it on my list. Wait, you guys watched?
I loved So Weird. That was like my original Supernatural show.
God.
Yeah.
I loved So Weird.
The second girl, Alex Johnson, went to the same high school that I went
What?
to.
Oh my
But
gosh.
she was like many years older than me, but I like one of the girls that I knew played on the same basketball team as her at that time, and I was just like, oh my god. I'm like, so you shook her hand? And she's like, yeah, we play basketball. I'm like, oh my god, let me shake your hand.
Yeah, I also watched Instant Star with her in it,
Yes!
which was a fantastic show.
Yes!
And speaking of
Oh my
Instant
God.
Star, there were like a bunch of other like Teen Nick shows that aired with Degrassi. And so do you guys remember South of Nowhere?
Yes, but I can't remember what it was about.
South of Nowhere was like the first of its kind. It was about a girl that moves to LA with her family and she discovers that she's a lesbian. And it's like her coming out story. It was like crazy. It was like so crazy for the time.
Yeah.
Was it Canadian?
Yes.
I feel like these shows.
Yes, South of Nowhere was Canadian, so was Instant Star, I think. But yeah, they were very, very good. That was all I had to say on those shows.
If any of you guys have other shows that we did not mention that we should talk about or that you really loved in that early millennial era, let us know. And we would love to hear what some of your favorite shows were.
And please, if anyone out there watched Popular, please validate me and tell me you watched it too.
Message us on Instagram just so Adrian has someone to talk to.
There's got to be someone out there. It's going to be Ryan Murphy. He's like, I watched it.
Oh, man.
Okay, now we can get into the episode. So in the previously on, Kristen tells us that Jessica just couldn't let go of Jason, so after the bonfire, she made her move. They were shocked when they heard that they hooked up, and she couldn't blame Alex for being pissed. We were all over Jessica's issues, and with spring break coming up, Kristen wanted to stay away from her and have fun with some boys, like Talon. But with Jessica and Alex both going to Cabo, we knew there was going to be some major drama.
Oh, yeah. I feel like she was probably irritated that MTV made her say, like, have fun with some boys, like Talon, because, like, when they're recording those sound bites, like, it's way after the fact, so, like, it makes me wonder how odd it was to record this stuff months later, like, if she feels completely differently about Talon.
Oh, yeah. It had to be super weird.
Yeah, but I feel like Kristen has no feelings. So
she was like, whatever, I'll say what you want me to say.
Yeah.
That's what Alex told us. She was like, I'll say whatever.
Yeah, and at this point, Kristen was like living her life in LA, and the show has like catapulted her into such fame. So I'll say what you want me to say. Yeah.
So she probably really didn't care. But I always look at it in terms of, like, if I had a reality show in high school and, like, they were trying to make me say this stuff about people that, like, that was so 2 weeks ago. Like, nobody cares about Talon right now, you know? Things move fast around here.
So in our opening scene, we see Alex H. and Kristen hanging out in Kristen's bedroom while she packs for Cabo. Alex brings up how last year they kept saying, whatever happens in Cabo stays in Cabo, but that doesn't ever really work. She says she wants to hang out with Alex, Em, and Taylor while they are there, and Kristen laughs and says, me too, but I really want to do our own thing. Kristen mentions that she can see Alex and Jessica fighting, and then asks, who do you think you're going to hook up with? Alex says, judging all the hotties that go down there. And then Alex says, I think Talon wants you, and I think you know it too. And Kristen says, I do know it. What do you want me to say? Cool.
That was so funny. Like,
Yeah.
she's just finally owning it that, like, Talon's in love with her, which is fine. Like, it's fine to own that. Like, you can, like, want to hook up with somebody and not, like, want to be with them. That's okay. I appreciate that versus, like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know. You know, like, don't.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Like, just be real. She was real about it. She's like, cool.
Did you guys catch though that Alex was like, "Oh, I want to hang out with Alex and Taylor," and then Kristen's like, no." Like she was so quick to be like, "Well, okay,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
really want to do our own thing." But I was so happy because Alex was like, "No, but like if we see them in Cabo, I don't want to leave."
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, I don't want to be like ill and leave.
Yeah. Very subtle
yeah.
ways that Alex
Yeah.
is like sticking up for herself, which I love.
But they also say like that their whole school pretty much goes to Cabo in this scene, and I like was trying to imagine that, like my high school, basically like the whole school going to Cabo, and like I can't even imagine it. It just doesn't even like compute.
Yeah.
That I would have gone on that type of vacation with anybody from high school. And also, like, it doesn't really make sense for me because I never really went anywhere for spring break. It was just me and my Sims at home. So, like, yeah, like, it was not that exciting. So, did your schools do big spring break stuff?
No.
I
Never.
think I asked you guys that before, but it's just like, that's so crazy. Their whole school went to Cabo.
I never went anywhere like that for spring break. Like, we just hang out at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember though, they said that their school had like a small class, like although she
very
said
small,
200, which is pretty freaking big to me. I don't know. Maybe she just meant like her entire school as her friend group.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't really see, and well, we wouldn't because they're not cast members.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting. I can't imagine going to Cabo with like Jimmy from third period. Like, you know, like just weird.
It's like a giant field trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would be very fun.
No.
So after the theme song plays, we see Jason's house. Jason is packing for Costa Rica while Cedric hangs out in his room. Cedric asks him if he's going to Costa Rica with his family, and Jason says he is, and he's not allowed to go to Cabo. Cedric tells him that Alex, and Jessica will both be in Cabo at the same time and says, well, they hate each other now. And Jason says, whatever, dude.
Screw you, Jason.
I know. I know.
Stir the pot and walk away.
Yep. Cedric asks what's going on with him and Alex, and Jason says they're just going to chill. And I was like, what does that even mean? They're just going to chill? Because are they broken up or are they not? Like, that was such a weird comment.
I think he meant it in, like, we're, like, gonna chill on that, like...
Right, like, we're not talking to each other right now, sort of thing.
We're just gonna, like, chill on the whole relationship thing, which is still a dumb way to say that, but...
Jason just seems so uninterested in the whole conversation, so...
He has zero responsibility for his part in literally making two girls feud, and I'm so disgusted by it.
I know,
like,
yeah.
Like, zero responsibility. He could say anything but what he actually said, which is whatever, dude.
But it's so funny because like he doesn't want to talk about it, but the scene is so obviously like producer produced.
Yes,
because he was packing his bag, it was like literally empty, you guys, and he shut the suitcase like, yep, I'm done.
There was like a huge gap between the clothes and the top. I'm like, that's not enough stuff.
And Cedric is like a producer's dream for asking him all of these questions. Like he is a dream. So I totally get it that Jason doesn't want to talk about this kind of stuff.
And I want to point out that Jason's not allowed to go to Cabo.
I know, that's what stuck out to me too.
I wonder if it's because his parents like don't want him to go to Cabo. They want him to like not get into trouble in Cabo, or if he's in trouble
going to Costa Rica,
right? Or but with his family, like it's a family vacation. It's not like he. Like,
but maybe that's why he's not allowed to go, because he has to go on his family vacation.
Or, like, maybe he's in trouble for something else and they said no to Cabo. I don't know. But then they were like, we're going to Costa Rica anyway. I don't know. Who knows? I would love to know, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I just was like, I was like, oh, well, maybe Lo's parents are not the only sane
That's
parents
true,
yeah.
Yeah.
Jason's not allowed to go either.
So we go to Taylor's house where she's also packing for spring break while Alex M is hanging out in her room. Alex says she's so pissed off about Jessica and says, seriously, Taylor, I'm like really mad. Taylor says that's the pissed off look, and Alex tells her that everyone is on her side, even Kristen. Taylor says that it's like a code that you don't hook up with your friend's boyfriend. Taylor says something's going to go down and she's going to have to hold Alex back. And I was just thinking, like, after talking with Alex, it is pretty crazy to think that this was going to be the first time she saw Jessica since all that went down.
Yeah.
So no wonder she was so, like, heated up about it.
I will say, though, the don't hook up with your friend's boyfriend, it was like, okay, according to MTV, that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
But I guess it's okay, because all she did was flirt with him, but she didn't hook up with him.
Yes. So, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was laughing because she says, literally, Taylor, everyone is on my side. Everyone. And I just, it made me laugh because that was so important when you were feuding with someone in high school who was on your side. Like, I remember specifically, Zanga was like a big thing back in the day. It was like a journal website. I don't know. It's a millennial thing. I don't know. People are probably going to be like, what the heck is that? But it was literally like a journal where you wrote what you did every day. Anyways, it was really popular. It was like before MySpace. Everyone had one, and I had one, and I was fighting with this girl in middle school, and I remember listing every single person who said they would back me up in a fight
oh my gosh.
on my Zanga page. It like hit me like when she said that, and I was like, oh, that is the cringiest thing ever. I'm so glad Zanga doesn't exist anymore.
We then get a little montage of everyone packing up and walking out their doors to head to Cabo. When we get to Cabo, we see Kristen and Alex H arriving, and they're heading into the Melia San Lucas. The girls excitedly walk into the lobby, and we see a beautiful view of the pool and the ocean. Next, we see Jessica and Emily arriving, and as they're walking into the resort, Jessica says, Cabo, Cabo, Cabo. Jessica asks if they should get Kristen's room number while checking in, but they both decide to wait. And then Jessica says that this is going to be a Jason-free trip until Alex comes.
Why are you bringing up Jason already?
Immediately.
You just got there.
Just got there, yeah.
Yeah.
This is also when the weird, like, immediate tension starts between Jessica and Kristen are now, like, not getting along, and it's very interesting.
I have this kind of out of order in my notes. Did Alex and Kristen already arrive?
Yeah, so Kristen and Alex H show up first, yeah.
So I just wanted to point out that their cute flowy skirts and flip-flops were so cute, and it made me want to go on vacation and be skinny. I immediately was like, oh, I need to work out, and also like be skinny and like go on vacation immediately. It was just like such a travel, like we're at the beach, like flowy like outfit. I don't know, I loved that.
And they both like had drinks already in the car and everything.
Yeah.
Also, I noted, I think that this was the one where Kristen said that they were already drunk when they filmed this entrance. Like, it wasn't actually when they arrived. So, like, when she tripped, she's like laughing because she's like drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Or tipsy, at least.
Kristen and Alex H are hanging out on the beach having some drinks while watching the boys surf and skimboard. And Kristen says, Sam's a little hottie patati, and then wants to cheers to Alex to hopefully cross your fingers, hot boys like that in our rooms. They looked like they were having like the best time.
No, I hope
so
they did
jealous
get the
of
hot
them.
boys in their room.
Yeah.
I really do. What a perfect vacation.
I know.
It was talent. Spoiler alert.
Well, I want somebody for Alex. Like,
yeah.
She never gets any.
Well, she did make out with Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts though, but
yeah. Well, whatever, Alex. You were living your best life.
So next we see a quick shot of Jessica at the pool, and then Alex M is arriving at the resort with Morgan S and Taylor. The girls make a run for the pool and are saying hi to everyone already there, and they stay away from Jessica, and we hear Alex say, I didn't want to say hi to dumb Jessica, so maybe we should just go say hi to the boys. And Jessica's like shaking her head, and she holds up her hands in like frustration.
She's like wringing her neck.
Yeah.
Alex is saying hi to all the boys, and then Jessica stands up, and we hear her say, this is ridiculous. Do you want to get our nails done? To Emily.
I think it's so unnecessary and weird that Alex was like, I don't want to say hi to dumb Jessica. Like,
she
was literally just saying it to like make Jessica uncomfortable. Like, she could have just completely ignored her and it would have been fine. It's hard for me because I do feel bad for Jessica, but I also don't, because I think she put herself in the situation. But like at the same time, it's like, okay, like you're in Cabo, just like, you know? Like, leave everybody alone. But again, Alex is confrontational. Jessica is not. So I think it just automatically, Jessica's just like, whatever, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But I think she really isolates herself this trip, and it makes me feel bad for her.
I feel bad for Emily.
Yeah. Emily's trip
she's
really
such a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emily is a good friend.
Yes, she is, for staying with her that whole time and not just dishing
and sticking up for her.
And yes, yeah.
I kept calling her Courtney in my notes. I'm sorry, Emily.
So we see Jessica and Emily head into the nail salon with their fruity drinks, and Jessica points out her neck and says it looks like she has a birthmark. Emily tells her it doesn't look like a birthmark and that it looks like a hickey. And I was just like, gross. I can't believe Jason gave her a hickey when he was like cheating. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Dude. Talking about it though. Stop drawing attention to the fact that you were slutty.
Exactly.
Holy shit. It was so big.
Yeah.
That hickey was ginormous and it was so dark.
And she's like, whatever, Jason's over it. Like, okay, but stop talking about him. Stop talking about it. And like, maybe the producer was like, do you want to tell us what's on your neck? But like, who knows, right? But yeah, and I die laughing every time. It looks like a birthmark. No, it looks like a hickey. No, it looks like a birthmark. No, it looks like a hickey.
I love how Emily like doubles down on it. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a hickey.
Like
yeah.
a birthmark.
You know, we also talked about how it was so hard to like cover hickeys up with makeup, and like Jessica didn't try at all. And like if I cheated with someone and I knew that was going to be on TV, you better believe I'm going to pile on that concealer to hide it as best I can. And it wouldn't work, but I would try.
Yeah.
And Jessica did not give a shit.
That she thinks it looks like a birthmark is like, it doesn't at all. Like,
it doesn't.
That's
no.
not even a little bit what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's so weird the lengths that people go to like try to hide the bad thing that they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's a freaking hickey, Jessica. Just like, we know what it is. You don't need to talk about it.
So Jessica says, well, Jason and I aren't together anymore, so it doesn't matter. All horrible things get put into the past. And Emily says, oh yeah, too bad it's not in the past. And Jessica says, well, how is it not in the past? We're not together. Emily says, you hooked up with him a week ago. Jessica says, okay, so what? It's not like it meant anything.
You hooked up with him a week ago.
A week ago, yeah.
Like, she's not letting her get away with this conversation.
I know.
At all.
It makes me so happy that she was just like egging it on of like, yeah, stop it.
She's like, it's a hickey and you got it a week ago.
Yeah. Love Emily.
Jessica says, so what? It's not like it meant anything. And Emily tells her that's lame. And Jessica asks why. And she says, because she's going to like try and kick my ass, talking about Alex M. Emily says that Alex isn't going to ruin her Cabo trip and that they already talked about it. But Jessica says ruining her Cabo trip would be Alex's dream.
Okay, but yes, Jessica, her dream is to ruin your Cabo trip because you hooked up with her boyfriend. Like,
exactly.
Oh, Jessica, I love you, but I cannot defend you right now. Like, I can't. Like, yes, of course that's her dream. You hooked up with her boyfriend. Like, that's normal. It's normal for her to want to kick your ass.
Well, I think she's more like scared, if anything.
Well, right, and she's trying to like deflect. She's trying to seem like she like, you know, it's not a big deal.
Doesn't care.
But she definitely does care. And this trip must have really sucked for her. Like, how do you enjoy yourself when you know, like, first of all, Alex and Kristen like aren't hanging out with you because they don't want to deal with the drama.
It's like everybody hates you, basically.
Yeah, Alex is mad at you, and everyone is on her side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe she posted it on her Zanga.
Did Emily sign the Zanga?
Yeah.
I need to know.
Emily was one of the people on the Zanga. Who knows? It just seems like it would be a really unfortunate, uncomfortable trip for everyone.
Yeah, it's not surprising that she like hides the whole time, but this is the first scene that I felt really bad for Emily because I'm like, she's just getting dragged into this, and it's her vacation too, and she's just gonna have to like stay with her friend who nobody wants to hang out with. Like, that really sucks.
And I do love her being like, that's lame.
Yeah,
it's like, it is lame. That was a really lame thing to do. Yeah, especially because like, I don't know, whatever. I feel like I'm one of them now. Whatever. It's whatever, dude.
We then get a really fun montage of everyone hanging out at the pool. They're all jumping in the water, going down the slide together, and it just looks like everyone's having so much fun. Meanwhile, Jessica is in her hotel room on the balcony, just looking sad and alone. We see Talon walk up to the pool and he jumps in to Kristen, who is yelling for him to come give me a hug. And I just have to mention that he like jumped in with his drink in hand, like fully drink in the water. Like I know it had like a big lid on it, but I was like, whoa, like hopefully it doesn't get a bunch of pool water in there.
Talon is living his best life.
He is, yeah.
There was a shot of him walking next to the pool, and there was a very young Frankie Delgado next to him in this
I was trying
episode.
to figure out who that was. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes, a very young Frankie.
Oh, I missed it.
That same shot they use later in the
Twice.
episode. Yes. And I made a note of it, and I was like, what the heck?
So wait, did Frankie go to Laguna?
No, but I feel like they always said that they were friends first, like Talon and Frankie, and they like lived together or like knew each other in LA, and that's how like the two groups started hanging out.
Yeah, but what's he doing in Cabo at this point?
Talon had left school, remember, to pursue like singing or whatever, acting.
So he was living in LA at this time, I believe. So they must have been living together
Yeah.
or hanging out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I listened to Back to the Beach a little bit and they talked about that.
Interesting. I would have never guessed.
But yeah, that Talon had already quit school at this point.
And he decided to go to Cabo anyway.
So in the next scene, Kristen and Alex H are in their hotel room doing their makeup, and Alex says she thinks Jessica doesn't want to hang out with them, and Kristen replies with, I don't care. Alex tells Kristen that Talon was all over her at the pool, and Kristen says, hell yeah. And Alex says she thinks Kristen and Talon are going to be getting their groove on. Oh, and this is where I had in my notes about Back to the Beach. So when I listened to it, it was interesting because Kristen said that she was like hooking up with Sam during this time. And yeah, like we just said, this is when like I found out that he had dropped out of school already. So I'm assuming MTV probably told Talon like, you have to come so we can keep this like narrative going of him and Kristen together. I don't know.
What? So she was hooking up with Sam, but she was super flirty with Talon the entire trip?
That's what she said on the
That actually tracks for Kristen.
Because in the scene later when they're dancing in the club, she made a point to say like that she didn't let him kiss her or anything like that. And she's like, if we were hooking up, I would have let him kiss me on camera. Which who knows if that's true, what she's saying or not. But
no comment.
You're right, though. She did say that in senior year, she like dated Sam for a big chunk of her senior year.
Yeah.
But I think she was still hooking up with Talon.
She probably was. And on Back to the Beach just didn't want to like own up to it or something.
Yeah. Because Talon doesn't care if she has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Sorry, sometimes I just have to sing about it.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, Laguna Beach the musical. That would be something.
Gosh, that'd be amazing.
Oh my god, could you imagine like the Cabo song?
I would watch you do a one-woman show. Laguna Beach.
Alex N's like song would be like, how low are you? Would it be like a hip-hop song, you know? Say you're a slut. I'm writing it. I don't care.
Jessica would have like a super slow like ballad of like, I'm so lonely and sad.
Jason,
no one wants to hang out with me.
All I want is Jason, but he wants Alex. So, if anybody wants to invest in Laguna Beach the musical, my Patreon, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let us know. We can help you write it. Reality show musicals, that needs to like become a thing. Yeah.
That's my next venture, okay?
Yeah.
So we're doing the podcast first, and then next
musical,
is the next is the musicals.
We have like our 5-year plan of goals.
You get like a touring cast together, it'll be great.
So next we see everyone walking together down the beach and arriving to a bunch of tables set up with like lights and decorations. I have to point out that I also went back to the beach. They mentioned that this was actually Morgan S.'s 18th birthday party, that her like dad was throwing her. So that's why we see like some random adults in the background. And like I noticed some people had like birthday bags and stuff after paying attention to that. So that's what that was about.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's like it just seems like they had all these tables set up for no reason.
Fancy. Yeah, I did think it was like super fancy for like a random Cabo dinner, but like who knows?
Yeah.
Whenever they're on vacation, I always compare it to like when the Kardashians go on vacation, and they always have weird tables set up like that in random places.
Oh yeah.
So I like didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, oh, they're like on vacation, even though like that's not normal people vacation.
Right.
Yeah, it totally warps like my idea of what my like vacations are supposed to look like. And then I get there and I'm like, it is not this fancy. I meant the like resort buffet, scooping my food from that huge tray of food.
I know. I'm like, this is definitely not Turks and Caicos. Yeah, I had no idea. I did notice that everyone was really drunk, and Kendra was there sitting next to Alex H.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice her. That's funny.
Yeah, she was sitting next to Alex H. It was only for like a split second. Like Kendra has an aura about her. Like you know when she's there. She's like Jen Bunny. She just pops up.
Yeah.
And you're like, ah, my God. You know, gotta get some rat traps.
Like a
yeah, it's not a good aura.
It's like a jump scare.
Exactly. I'm like, oh God, it's Kendra. Okay.
So yeah, we see everybody showing up to the party. They all have red Solo cups in hand.
Alex M's dress in this scene was super cute. Did you guys think it was cute?
I don't remember what it was.
I don't even think I noticed.
Yeah, Adrian's looking at me like
I don't
she
even
doesn't think it was cute. It was like green, but it had like a pattern on it, and it was like super fitted, but it had like a little bit of a flippy at the end. They all look amazing this entire trip. And like everybody's bathing suits. Jessica, like, are you kidding me? Yeah, like everybody's body is insane, and like no wonder I had issues growing up. Like, yeah, this is what I'm watching, and they all look insane. But yeah, everybody looked super cute at this dinner. But take another gander. Alex M's dress is really cute.
Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about, but I can't picture her dress in my head for whatever reason. It was so fast.
I know, I've watched it so many times, but I like don't think I've ever picked that out.
I think she wears it to the club afterwards too, or at least there's like a couple shots of her walking in it.
Which I also don't remember. So.
Yeah.
So, well,
we'll have to take a snip and then we'll post it on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. I also have that Kristen is a hot mess express, but she still looks so hot.
We then see Kristen sitting on Talon's lap, and he tells her that she's just really naturally pretty. And Talon seems super drunk at this point, and I just thought it was very cringy, this whole like little conversation that they had. And Kristen's like, oh, Talon, and rubbing his head, and we hear him say, no, I really mean that. But then while she's rubbing his head, she's like looking at someone else and does like a little like tear falling motion on her eye. Like,
she always does that with Talon, though. He'll be like complimenting her, and she'll be like, oh, Talon, stop,
yeah.
Talon, you're so sweet. I'd be like, keep it coming, Talon. Tell me how beautiful I am. Feed me tacos.
But it's also so like she's like doing that tear, being like, oh, how sad that he doesn't know that he's in love with me, but I don't like him. But I am gonna hook up with him.
Maybe she's doing the tear towards Sam.
No, that would be so fucked up.
Hey, it's just a theory, okay? Just a tiny theory.
So after that, he asks if she's ready to leave, and they like get up and go. And I thought the editing of that was so funny because from the editing, it seems like here we are arriving at the party. We're all going to sit down for a second. Okay, you ready to go? Yeah. Like it just is so fast. Like we see hardly anything going on in that.
But I feel like they always do that to Talon. Like he always just disappears randomly or like.
It's like, hi, okay, bye. Yeah, it's so strange. But I also noticed, though, that a bunch of them had the Kodak disposable cameras in this part. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
I miss those.
So many good memories doing, disposable camera photos.
Back when you took a picture and you had no idea how it turned out.
And like the anticipation of like taking it and
You tried to take selfies, but they were always not really selfies. They were like the wall.
Now they're like so expensive. Like they still sell them at the drugstore, but they're like $40.
Disposable cameras?
Yeah. And then you can't do 1 hour photo anymore. It's like you have to literally mail the camera somewhere and then they mail the pictures back. Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. It's crazy.
What? You can just drop it off at Walgreens and come back?
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
What?
Yeah, it was a few years ago. We had a friend who lives in LA come down to stay with us for a weekend. And he was like, I found this random disposable camera. Like, let's see what's on it. We were like, oh, that's so cool. We could not find anywhere in town that would do it. And then that's what every drugstore told us. Like, no, you have to mail it and it'll take like 2 weeks to come back. And then we found like one little tiny mom and pop like photo shop and they did it for us. It took like 6 hours and it was like really expensive, but we did it.
God.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's depressing.
I know.
Like, I miss that.
So do I. Yeah.
Guess we'll just stick with our iPhone selfies.
Yeah. All right. So then the party moves over to Rocks, like the nightclub, and they're entering the club, and we see a sign out front and that it's ladies' night. And then we see everyone dancing on the bar, and we watch as Kristen and Talon dance super close together for like a really long scene.
And he's wasted.
Yeah.
Wasted. And very much enjoying himself dancing that close to Kristen.
I do not believe at all that she was with Sam at this point because there were so many scenes of like Alex H talking about how she's going to be hooking up with Talon. I feel like Kristen is just like rewriting history again.
I know. That's why I thought that was so strange too. And I feel like on Back to the Beach, she kept trying to write it off as like, well, Sam didn't want to be on camera. I'm like, okay, I don't know.
I'm not going to sing again. But we all know how I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So after the dancing scene, we fade out and we go to the next day. And this was the moment where they showed that same shot of Talon arriving to the pool. And there's like a little montage of everybody on the beach and stuff. And then we see Talon, and then we know that it's Frankie walking up those steps to go to the pool together. So if you watch it again, just notice for that shot, because it literally is like the same shot. They used it 2 times.
The exact same.
It's so funny, like noticing that stuff now. So Alex H and Kristen are laying on the beach, admiring how big the waves are. And they talk about how much fun the pool was on the previous day. And Kristen says she managed to hook up with Talon again. Kristen says she thinks she knows what she's doing as far as leading on guys, and Alex agrees. Speaking of Talon, Kristen says she will kiss him or whatever. And to him, he probably thinks that she does like him. And then she jokingly says, whoops, my bad.
Yeah, Kristen, when you kiss boys, that they would think that you like them. Yes,
exactly. Yeah, like poor Talon, like you're leading him on. Stop.
I mean, do we really feel bad for Talon? He's like in LA though.
Okay, but his little heart, Candace.
That's not good for his little heart.
Kristen says it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jessica and Alex M. And then we see Jessica walking on the beach by herself. She's on her phone, calling Jason, and she's leaving him a voicemail. And she said, Jason, it's Jess. I was just calling to see what you're up to. I just wanted to see how you're doing, so give me a call back.
First of all, he's in Costa Rica. Second of all, you're in Cabo.
You're in Cabo.
Enjoy yourself. Third of all, stop calling him.
Exactly.
I have to ask her
if that's real.
Yeah.
I'm like, question mark.
Yeah.
Like, was that real or did the producers tell her to do that? Because that is insane.
No, but yeah, that was ridiculous. Enjoy yourself.
And okay, let me say that if the producers asked her to film a clip like that, Jessica should not have done that, okay? Because she knew exactly what that was being used for. So come on, girl.
Obvi, he's not going to answer. He's in Costa Rica. Probably making out with like bartenders or something.
Probably.
Smoking 12 cigarettes.
At once.
Can you imagine him like hooking up with a bartender on his family vacation? Like,
yeah.
I just like that would not surprise me.
Well, he looked way older than he was too.
I know.
Yeah, that's true.
He does look 45. That's a thing.
Next, we see Alex M and Taylor having some more fun at the pool together. They're floating in the pool, laying on what looks like a giant blow-up air mattress, and I thought those looked awesome. They are talking about how this is their last spring break together, and Taylor asks Alex if she misses Jason. Alex says, no, I haven't really been thinking about him. And Taylor says that it's easy to not think about the guys when they're down there having fun, and Alex says it just hasn't been on her mind. Taylor says he's not worth being on her mind, and Alex says Jason is an idiot, and so is Jessica.
And they're both like, Jason is an idiot, because they can't talk. Because
they're so hoarse.
They both have no voice, yeah. Alex says she's so mad at Jessica, and Taylor says she thinks Jessica is scared of her, and Alex says, well, shit's gonna hit the fan.
Truth.
I was like, well, good for Alex for not like pining over Jason in all of this, that she's just seems like very over it. Meanwhile, while Jessica is like calling him.
True, until we watch that final scene, by the way, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But I wanted to point out that the difference between Jessica and Alex here, because the second Alex found out that he cheated on her, she was done. Like, she's like, get away from me. Like, you guys are disgusting. Like, fucking over it. Not dating you. And then, meanwhile, if that had been Jessica, she would have been like, well, are you sure, Cammy?
Right,
like, did you really see, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's a huge difference here, and I really applaud Alex for just being like, I'm over it. Fool me once, my dude. Like,
that's the way to do it, yeah.
And it was, like, it's refreshing after watching Jessica fall for it and fall for it and fall for it. I did note that was a big difference.
Totally. And you almost kind of like flip onto being on Alex's side too, because you like really appreciated that.
We then see Cedric and Jessica hanging out at the hotel, and Cedric says he loves it there, but Jessica says that she can't wait to go home. And I was just like, eye roll, Jessica's being such a Debbie Downer here.
Why did you come?
Exactly.
Like, going to Cabo and not going out is so lame, and just being miserable is so lame.
Guys, she was so scared. She wanted to go enjoy her spring break, but the second she got there and everyone isolated her and were so mean to her, she didn't even go to dinner, did she?
No, I don't think she was
there. That birthday
there.
dinner? Imagine how miserable she is.
Yeah.
But if I knew Alex was really mad at me and gunning to make my trip terrible and everybody was on her side, I wouldn't have gone. I would have stayed home over that experience.
I guess so, but like, wouldn't that mean that Alex won?
So I would be at home in Laguna tanning and having a good old time.
But having mad FOMO, no?
I mean, yeah, I'd be like mad and be like on Instagram, like super FOMO. But like at the same time, I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
I guess.
And okay, maybe I would have in high school. Like, I'm thinking about it now, but I probably would have in high school.
It's a bit of like a no-win situation for Jessica, I feel like. You either stay home and you're miserable and you feel like you didn't go on this trip just because of, you know, you're scared of someone else, or you go on the trip and you're miserable for the entire thing.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm sure MTV was like, you're going.
There, you have to go.
Yeah.
It's already paid for.
She didn't have a choice. But thank God for Emily and like Emily wanting to like
seriously
be with her, you know?
At least someone stayed with her, yeah.
Because honestly, I would have been like, I don't know, I'm gonna hang out with Alex H and Kristen because they look like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
And I want to have a good time, and I'll see you later. I'll bring you back some cake.
Also, I feel like watching Cedric hang out with her and Emily here, I'm like, he is even more annoying because you know that he doesn't even like them. He's just here to like talk shit with them and like basically get gossip and bring it back to Alex and everyone else. He annoys me so much.
He's got a big old spoon and he's stirring the pot.
Yeah. He's so annoying this season. Like, I don't know. He's way more annoying to me this time around. Yeah.
He's like a little mole. He just like pops up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, where there's drama, there's Cedric.
Like the drama mole. Yeah.
He's like, did somebody say fight? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, he should hang out with Jen Bunny.
It would be perfect. Yes. They're like rodents together.
They'd be such good friends. Oh my God. Somebody should introduce them.
So Cedric says he's always caught in the middle of it, and Emily chimes in to say, you're caught in the middle of it. I'm good friends with both of them, and they're both bitching at me about it. Jessica says she has not once bitched to Emily about it. And Emily says Jessica hasn't wanted to go out. And Jessica says, well, I haven't wanted to go out because Alex wants to kick my ass. And Cedric says, yeah, she does.
Thanks, Cedric. Thanks for that.
Thanks for the confirmation. Yeah. Jessica says if Alex tries to fight her, she's not going to fight back. And she says, okay, like hit me. And then what's that going to solve? I'll have a black eye and I'll look really cute. Okay, can match my hickey. I'll be really hot.
It's my favorite.
Jessica goes back into the hotel room and she kind of sings like, it should be an interesting night.
What's she gonna do? Hit me? I'll just have a black eye and it'll be really cute. It'll match my hickey. It'll be hot. And then Cedric goes, what the hell is she talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's so good. Honestly, that's like the funniest Cedric has ever been because he genuinely has no idea. Like, he's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Okay, but I love Jessica in this scene. I appreciate this humor. I love it.
It'll match my hickey. It'll be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite quote of this episode, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so good. This episode, but that's always been my favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to have a black eye. I'm gonna be really cute.
All right, so next we are back at Rocks where everyone is dancing and having some drinks. We see Alex H and Alex M and Kristen having fun on the dance floor, and then in walks Jessica.
And all their bras are hanging out, and it's so 2000s.
Yes, totally. Jessica does not look excited or comfortable to be there when she walks in. And then shortly after she walks in, we see some of the other girls kind of like motioning around towards where Jessica went. And then we see Alex looking around and she says to Emily, Jessica better not be here. And I just thought it was funny. Like, Jessica seemed like she was avoiding going out the entire trip for this exact reason. And then like the second she gets to the club, Alex is like, where is she? So Emily is like basically begging Alex to please don't ruin my Cabo trip. And Alex, talking about Jessica, says, I can ruin her Cabo trip. And Emily says by ruining Jessica's Cabo trip that she's ruining her Cabo trip. But Alex says, I don't care. I'm sorry, Emily.
Emily trying to mediate the situation makes me really sad. It makes me feel bad for her.
Yeah.
I know.
It really sucks. Yeah.
She's like genuinely pleading, like, please don't do this. It's gonna suck so bad for me.
Yeah. We then see the confrontation go down. Alex gets up in Jessica's face and says, now listen. And Jessica asks what she wants her to say. And Alex says, I can't fucking believe your ass. You are fucking such a little hoe. And Jessica's yelling that she's trying to apologize. And Alex says, apologize for what, Jessica? Jessica says she's sorry for being a slut and claims she doesn't even remember doing it. And Alex says, bullshit, you fucking told me.
I just have to say, I don't even remember doing it, Alex. Ew, what?
Yeah, what? Why would she say that?
I think she just panicked, and it was like the first thing she could think of, and it's like to defend herself. But it's just when you think about it, it's like, what?
Everyone knows you did it.
Yeah, like you have a hickey.
Yeah. Alex yells at Jessica, you fucking have an attitude. And then Emily jumps in and says that Jessica's saying she's sorry. Alex disagrees and says, no, she's not. She's like, I'm sorry. Nya, nya, nya.
Okay, I'm sorry. Liz's note, she has it. I'm sorry. New.
I know. You read my words. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Alex says to Jessica, are you a slut? Yeah, I think you are. Emily tells Alex that people make mistakes, but Alex says she completely understands that. She says if Jessica would have called her and said, Alex, I fucked up. I'm so sorry. Then Jessica tries to jump in and say something, but Alex quickly puts her finger in Jessica's face and says, shut up. She says, instead of walking around and being like, oh, hi, whatever, Alex is such a bitch. Nah, nah, nah. Then she says to Jessica, you're so lucky I'm not hitting you right now. I'm irate at you. Jessica again says she's sorry, and Alex asks if she thinks what she did was wrong. Jessica says she does think what she did was wrong, and that's why she's trying to apologize. She asks Alex what she wants her to say, and then Alex says that you're a slut. Jessica says, okay, I'm a slut. Alex then pauses and kind of with a smirk on her face laughs. Then she says, how low are you, dude? You're one low chick. Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
So good.
My two favorite things that were said was, I am trying to apologize to you. I'm sorry for being a slut, Alex.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember doing it, Alex.
I love when Alex is just like, no, shut up, like right at her. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Alex is so scary.
She
She like
is,
would not let it
yes.
go, and she was going to rip her head off, like regardless of what was
I
happening.
literally have,
Yeah.
damn, Alex is so scary. Just telling Jessica to shut up.
Yeah, and I feel like Alex didn't even know what she wanted, like, the outcome to be except just, like, rip her apart because when she finally got
Yeah.
to say, "Okay, I'm a slut," she literally was, like, stunned at what she was able to even do.
And Jessica just wants it to stop. Like, you can tell that she's, like, saying whatever,
Completely.
like, comes to
Yeah.
her mind. And, like, I would have been the same way. When someone's coming at you that hot, like, I would have been like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, like, I don't know what to do. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Props to her for not, like, bawling
Oh
and
my God,
crying.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have done that. I would have crumbled in front of her eyes up against that wall.
She's intimidating. She's just very, like, I don't know. Like, she came
Totally.
at her and, like, it's so mean and it's so slut shamey, but I do kind of love her little smile reaction when Jessica calls herself a slut. Because she's literally like, oh my God, I wish that, like, there was like a meme of it because it's so good. She's so pleased with herself. Like, she's literally like, like, it's so good. And like, Jessica really didn't even try to stand up for herself at all. She was just like, okay, I'm a slut.
She just wanted it to stop, you
And
know?
I get it. She just wanted
Yeah.
it to stop. But like, I kind of wanted her to be like, okay, like, maybe don't call yourself a slut. Like, have some.
I know. I feel so bad for Jessica though this whole episode. I feel like you can
Yeah.
tell, and like she's probably heard from everybody about how Alex wants to punch her
Oh,
and like
yeah.
beat the crap out of her. So I'm like literally just so impressed that she did not like freak out and cry
I
in
know.
that moment.
And I would have been so scared. I would have been like shaking in my boots. Like, I get it. I
Totally.
would have been terrified because
I would have been in the bathroom all night.
like, I'm not a fighter and I can't even pretend that I can throw a punch. So like, I would have been terrified and I know I would have gotten my ass kicked. And yeah, I probably would have had the same exact reaction that Jessica did, but I wish she had just been like, I'm not a slut, I just made a mistake. Or like, you know, something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Because I feel bad that she had to call herself a slut on national television.
I know. You know, our interview with Alex, she said there was like a thing about how it was like to stand up for yourself, you had to look like this like tough girl and bad bitch and all that. And I feel like at this time in reality TV, like after Laguna Beach, getting into fights was like normal if someone like stole your boyfriend or like wronged you or if you guys were in a fight,
Yeah.
like throwing punches and all that is like it was like the bad thing to do. And so I feel like lots of women grew up watching this, myself included, being like, I'm going to go to the club and I'm going to beat that girl. And then when I actually grew up and I was like, you know, at the club, and if I was mad at someone, I'm like, that is so not my natural reaction. Why did I think I could even fight? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Kelsey was like a fighter. Like, she could like kick your ass if you really wanted her
I
to.
could see
like,
that. Yeah.
And like, she was my friend, so like, I always knew she had my back.
You didn't have to fight because you knew she
No.
would for you.
And like, I knew like, even if I was wrong, she'd still be on my side. I remember one time she was fighting with this girl and they were like legit about to like throw down in the middle of the hallway, like for real. Like, they didn't, but they were like about to, and we had just gotten our lunches, so we had like lunch trays, and she goes, hold my pizza. That was like her main concern if she was gonna fight this girl, was for like somebody to hold her pizza. I was like, I'm gonna hold your pizza. Yeah, I got you.
So we jump to the next day where Alex M, Kristen, Taylor, and Alex H are eating at the hotel. Kristen asks about what went down last night, and Alex M says that Jessica has the worst little fucking attitude she's ever seen in her life. Alex tells Kristen about Jessica's attitude while saying, I'm sorry to her, and Alex says she needs to take her bitch-ass attitude out of here and don't act like you're 5 years old. Alex says she was so upset she was shaking and really thought she was going to hit her and she was clenching her fists. And that is how Alex M was like mocking Jessica of like, I'm sorry, blah,
I'm
blah, blah,
sorry.
blah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's so good.
This breakfast though really gave me like traitor vibes because I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
Kristen, Alex, how can you be having breakfast here with them?
But I appreciate Kristen because she stuck up for Jessica. She said, I think she thought that you guys were friends and it was weird of you to go out with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was
she
like,
did say that.
somebody said it. Like, it is weird. And I think that Jessica had like a little bit of a stand there. Like she did think that they were friends, and like you did go out with him like right after we broke up, and like even if it wasn't
flirted
like,
heavily throughout the time that they were dating.
Even if the timeline was like weird, and I'm sure it was, like even if there was some space between the two relationships, like it's still hurtful, you know? So like I appreciated that Kristen said something, because nobody seemed to be saying anything like that.
Nobody was standing up for Jessica at all.
Nobody said, and it's true. Like that is weird of you to go out with him when I'm still in love with him and everyone knows it, especially if we're friends, but whatever.
Then we see Jessica and Emily in their hotel room also talking about the fight. Jessica said she was going to say anything just to have her stop screaming in her face and wanting to kick her ass. Jessica says she's going to turn over a new leaf that involves no Jason. And Emily says, well, there's never going to be no Jason in your book. And Jessica asks why she would say that. Emily just says, because. And Jessica says, there can be no Jason. God, shut up. There will be no Jason. I really wouldn't go back out with him. That'd be really stupid. Okay, I swear on my grandmother's grave that I would never go back out with Jason ever. Well, maybe not ever, but I wouldn't go back out with him ever again. Like, what?
She still
Make
can't
up your
even
mind.
Oh my
She
God.
still can't rule it out completely, because she knows, like, if he was like, I love you, she'd be like, okay.
Oh, totally.
Which sucks. I feel bad for her that she likes him that much, and even after all this drama, she still likes him, but it's okay. It's high school. I get it.
Yeah.
So we see everyone leaving, looking sad that they have to leave the resort, and everyone's heading back to Laguna. And then once we are back in Laguna, we see Alex M driving in her car with her friend Courtney. Courtney asks if Jason had fun in Costa Rica, and Alex says he did, but she really isn't sure because she hasn't talked to him since their conversation in the last episode. Courtney asks if they've talked about it, and Alex says no, they haven't talked since she got back. Alex says that Cedric told her that he and Jason would be playing basketball at the park, and Courtney says, should we do a little stalking? And I was like, oh, I bet this is the park that she talked about in the other episode where she was driving to the park and, to meet friends. So we get to the park and we see Cedric, Jason, and Talon playing basketball. And Cedric asks Talon if he saw the fight between Alex and Jessica in Cabo. Talon says he didn't see it, and Cedric says it was such a gnarly fight. Alex and Courtney show up to the park and they walk up to the guys, and Jason seems like he doesn't even want to look at Alex, and she has to ask him if they can talk. And he says, about what? And she says, just come here really fast. But then he proceeds to ask her to hold up because he wants to take his turn with the basketball game that they're playing first.
Do you guys feel like this was set up though? Like,
I was going to ask you guys that too.
Because even Alex says, like, this is embarrassing, and like it is.
You think it was set up as in like MTV made them do this?
I don't think she had any reason to talk to him. I think that they were already done. And I think MTV wanted like a scene.
Yeah, like some sort of closure.
Yeah.
But it didn't even really feel like that.
Alex told us that after she found out he hooked up with Jessica, she was done.
Right.
Yeah, like I can see that, but I feel like Alex was still trying to like, I don't know if reconcile is the word, but she was still like looking for something from Jason because of what she says at the very end, which is like, call me.
I think she wants to be friends with him.
But why? If you're so mad at that
because
time?
Because they were friends before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you're so pissed off, you wouldn't want to like be friends. You wouldn't think to want to like keep that friendship at this time.
But according to her, she was like really good friends with Cedric and Jason, and before they dated. And if you're like really good friends with somebody and then you date and then it just doesn't work out for whatever reason, like you.
But he cheated on you.
Well, yeah, but she's not pissed at him. She's pissed at Jessica.
No. She says that she's pissed at the both of them. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like this scene is real. MTV probably asked him to film it.
She did not come at him the way that she came at Jessica. She's not pissed at him.
That is true. She did confront him though, and he did admit it.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, it was a very different approach to Jason than it is to Jessica. I don't think that she was pissed at him. I think she was sad at him, but I don't think that she was pissed at him. It's just a very different conversation, and, like, I don't know. I don't think she wanted to be with him at this point. I think she just was like, well, are we going to be, like, friends? Like, the same way that was Jessica's
Oh, you don't think it was, like, you still want to date me kind of thing?
I don't. That's why she's like, this is embarrassing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it is embarrassing to have to go, like, basically grovel for attention from your ex so that you can film a scene. You know what I mean?
It was also embarrassing when she's like, I just want to talk to you. And he's like, hang on, let me like throw this in the basketball real quick.
Yeah.
Like that, it was so
Jason's
cringy.
just such an ass.
He's
Like,
the
he is
worst.
just so annoying.
It was just awkward. Like, why are you talking to him while he's playing basketball with his friends? Like, I just feel like MTV was like, go and do this right now.
That's why I wondered that too, yeah.
And she was like, okay, that's really weird. I could just call him on the phone, but whatever.
Even if they made him do that, like, come on, Jason, play along. Like, don't freaking ignore her. She's right there.
Right. You can't talk to Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like talking to a brick wall. You can't talk to him.
Cedric couldn't make him do it.
Yeah.
He just can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jason, he finally steps away from the game, and Alex says, you don't like to talk to him anymore, do you? And he says, I do. And she says, no, you don't. And he again says, yeah, I do. Alex says that she thinks she hates him or something, and he says he doesn't think that at all. They sit down on a bench, and he again asks her what she wants to talk about. And this drives me insane about Jason. Like, anytime a girl's like confronting him, like, I didn't want to talk to you. He's like, what do you want to talk about? And it's every time I'm like, you know what they want to talk about. Like, it drives me crazy. So Alex tells him she's really confused because she still has feelings for him and she hasn't talked to him in a long time. And Jason awkwardly only says, yeah. And then they both kind of like start nodding their heads at each other. Then Alex is just like, nice. and then another long, awkward pause. Jason says, well, and Alex says, I don't know, and sighs. Then she tells him that he could always call her sometime, and he nods and says, I'll call you. Courtney and Alex are walking out of the park, and Courtney asks her if she knows what they are right now, and Alex says, obviously we're nothing, we're not anything. Alex says how awkward that was and that it did not go the way she thought it would. And then the guys continue to play basketball as Alex and Courtney drive away.
With Avril Lavigne playing in the background. Yeah. I forget which song it is this time. It's not
Losing Grip.
Yes.
I looked it up.
Yes. Wow, that was Cabo.
That was an episode. Cabo.
Yeah, do you guys prefer Cabo 1 or Cabo 2? What do you think?
Cabo 2.
I agree. I just think it's so much more intense.
It's just so much more heated.
Yeah.
And like the buildup was there, and like Alex was so scary, and
yes.
like this scene of her making Jessica call herself a slut was just like so much that I definitely love this one.
I'm gonna be different and say Cabo 1.
Whoa.
I really enjoy. I mean, I don't enjoy it. The whole scene is like, it was so iconic and like, just like, oh, like watching it happen, like, and watching Steven like be that aggressive and like Kristen like laughing in his face and like not caring at all. And then him like completely flirting with Lauren across the table and like Kristen's that,
oh
like,
yeah,
you know,
I love you. Yeah.
Oh yes.
And then he like wants to go and stay with Lauren in her room because she's sick. Like, I don't know.
They're both thing, good. Yeah. We should take a vote.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with season 1 to be different from you guys, but I honestly love them both.
Did you guys have a favorite outfit?
Yeah, I said Alex's dress in Cabo Night 1, but you guys don't remember it.
I said Alex's club outfit that I don't even know what you call it. Is it a halter? It's not. It was like a crisscross back cute top thing. That was really cute.
Yeah, I like Taylor's clubbing outfit the best that night. It was like another halter top. It was like blue with like stripes on it. Just really cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
And favorite moments?
Alex yelling at Jessica.
Yeah. I mean, like, what other moment is there?
Obviously the fight, but again, my favorite quote is still, I'll just have a black eye and it'll be really cute. It'll match my hickey. It'll be hot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then Cedric saying, what the hell is she talking about? He, like, hates Jessica on the DL.
He does, yeah.
Great episode.
You know, if we had this episode in, like, reality shows today, I feel like, so that, like, fight scene was, like, literally, like, I feel like a minute. Like, it was not long at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like today, that scene would have been, like, the bulk of the episode.
Oh, totally, yeah.
We would be spending so long in the clubs with them, but like that was literally such a short blip in this entire episode.
Yeah, if it had ended up being like a true life episode, I think it would have spanned into Cabo, and there would have been like a whole scene of them dancing in the club because that's what they love to do on True Life.
Wait, but True Life of what? I got bullied in Cabo.
True Life, I live on the beach.
I like True Life. I got bullied in Cabo.
True Life, I called myself a slut. I don't know.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to.
True Life, I have a hickey.
True Life, I have a birthmark.
True Life, I have a hickey that looks like a birthmark. True Life, I hooked up with my friend's boyfriend.
True Life, I have a hickey and a black eye.
Thank you so much for listening to our Season 2 recap of Laguna Beach. You can follow us on our Instagram at millennialteav, that's millennialteav on Instagram and on Reddit. If you have any suggestions for our podcast, you can also send us an email at millennialtv@gmail.com. And please give us a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts to get notified when we release our episodes every Tuesday. Thanks again and see you next week.